Qatar is the first Middle Eastern and first Muslim country I've ever visited, and I'd be lying if I said that I didn't have a little bit of anticipatory anxiety in the days leading up to the flight. In fact, a family member called me the night before my flight and begged me not to go. However, as I've said many times before on this channel, I believe that the world is a safe and loving place, and I believe that the world is one family. So I decided to discard all the buzzing noise in my head about news headlines and yada yada yada, and get on the plane and test my theories out firsthand in the land they call Qatar. I'm headed to Doha, Qatar to see my nephew and my sister, and I'll be there in just a snap. And just like that, we're in Doha. Luckily, my nephew Davin and his wife Courtney have been living and working in Doha, Qatar for the past few years. And I realized that this was a great opportunity because I could push myself during the day to test my limits and find out about a new culture, but then I could come home to the comfort and safety of family at night. Along the way, I met sweet baby Caden for the first time. I reunited with my sister Michelle and my brother-in-law Lyle, and I befriended a Qatari local who showed me a part of Doha and Qatar that I would have never experienced otherwise. But did my theory that the world is one family hold up? Well, let's find out. My family picked me up from the airport and we immediately headed outside of Qatar to the dunes where we rode the dune buggies, we rode camels, and we went dune bashing. Our driver's name was Farhad, and there wasn't enough room for all of us to sit in the back seats of the SUV, so one of us had to sit in the front seat, and well, they chose me. And I felt really lucky because throughout the day I got to know a really wonderful person as he took us to all of our activities, first of which was riding the dune buggies. Davin, what are we going to go do?
We're going to ride the dunes in Qatar.
All right. Redneck style?
Redneck style.
Okay, let's go. As we rode the dune buggies, I felt totally free from all the cares and worries that I left behind in Norway. And I just felt the sand in my pants and the salt air on my face. And it just felt like I was a little kid riding dirt bikes with my family back in North Carolina again. Okay, guys, how would you like the sand dune buggy ride thing?
Very exhilarating. It's awesome, but I'm mad at you for getting my shirt dirty.
Oh yeah, I got her shirt dirty. Yeah. Yeah, and I heard Davin screaming all the way down the hills on the dune buggy.
And by Davin, you mean Patrick?
Yeah. Now, when we got to our second activity, which was riding the camels, my theories that the world is a safe and loving place and that the world is one family got put a little bit more to the test. After all, people in my generation were in middle school when the Twin Towers fell on September 11, 2001. And for years afterward, we saw guys in Arabic garments being put on our TV screens in mugshots on the nightly news. But of course, the guys helping us on and off the camels were the farthest thing from that messaging. They were just good, honest guys who were trying to make a decent living so they could put food on their family's table. And perhaps food in their camel's belly. Hey, Davin.
His tail
is it like bull riding?
Close.
You rode a bull, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure I can make it 8 seconds.
Which one's better, the bull or this?
Camels.
Camels.
They don't try to buck you off.
In fact, when they realized that we were making a YouTube video, they volunteered to take pictures and video for us and were really supportive of our endeavors.
Patrick.
They realized that we were all a family of brothers and sisters, and they asked us all about our childhood experiences and while we were in Qatar, and we made all sorts of small talk around family and what matters most to us.
They spit at you? Do they bite?
My camel's name was John Cena, apparently. And John Cena, thank you very much for being a good host. Yes, very good. Thank you. Okay, so we just rode the camels. It was absolutely awesome. And now our driver, Farhad, is going to take us dune bashing.
So, Patrick, what do you think about dune bashing?
And as I was editing this video, I realized that the footage doesn't look all that scary, but sitting in the front seat and going down a 30-foot dune, it was terrifying to me. Can you warn me next time?
No.
No. No, don't tell him.
Yeah, sure. Big wink.
I thought we were just taking a pleasant ride, and then... Oh, it's happening again. Oh, one more. One more downhill. Oh my God. Oh my God. No! This is common, right? Everybody does this, right?
No.
Oh gosh, I feel like I'm 18 again.
I'm fine until he turns, and when it turns unexpectedly, I get scared. And my family still roasts my overreaction to this day. Courtney, how was the dune bashing?
It was the craziest thing I've ever been a part of.
Yeah? A little bit more rough than the dune buggies?
I think my whole body touched the top of the car.
Once we finished the dune bashing, we just hung out by the sea for a minute, and I started to have a deeper conversation with our driver, Farhad. Turns out that Farhad is the same age as me. He loves to travel like me, and he loves to go camping on the weekends with his wife and family. He lives in a big house with an extended family, which is really common in his culture, and I also grew up really close to my aunts and uncles. This is the desert flower. Sometimes the rose blooms in the snow in the middle of Norway, and sometimes the flower blooms in the middle of the desert. Do you know the name of this?
Desert flower.
Desert flower. And it was in that conversation that I realized that actual human connection and getting to know someone that's different than you goes so much deeper than some news soundbite or social media meme. The news and social media has a much wider circulation, but it's shallow. Authentic connection with people that are different than you, on the other hand, it's much more difficult, but it's much more deep and meaningful. At any rate, as we got back into the SUV, Farhad saw some of his friends that were sandboarding on the dunes, and we got out and they asked me to try my hand at it. Oh, and in case you're enjoying this video, you know I have to say it. Wait for it. Here it comes.
1, 2, 3.
Please subscribe.
Jump.
Oh. Wait, again.
واحد اثنين ثلاثة.
Please subscribe. I can't be the only one that says it. Bye. As we drove back into Doha as the sun set over the dunes of Qatar, Farhad dropped us off for dinner at the Ritz-Carlton. Okay, we're eating at the Ritz-Carlton, which is super swanky here. There are all these palm trees, and yeah, it's nice. We're on the beach now, and Courtney's going to tell us what is in the background.
So right behind us is the 974 Stadium, and it is built out of 974 cargo ship containers. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or just purely ironic. 974 is the area code for Qatar.
Davin had ordered some sparkling wine for him and his mom, and we had wonderful food before heading off to bed.
And after dinner at the Ritz-Carlton, we went home where baby Caden was still wide awake, waiting for us to play with him.
What are you going to do, Caden? Go?
Go. Go. Where are you going to meet this? Oh, that was so sweet. My first day in Qatar was super fun and safe and comfortable. So on day 2, I decided to depart from my family who had other plans and instead call Farhad and ask him for an authentic Qatari experience. And I'm here with Farhad again, and today we're going to the northern part of Qatar. Yeah. He said, hey Patrick, Doha is fantastic, but if you really want the Qatari experience, we need to go outside the city. Our first stop outside the city was Al Khor, where we visited a fish market and saw a ton of boats that they used to pro dive off of.
So we are going to Purple Islands.
And what's on the Purple Islands?
Mangroves.
Anything else? No, that's it? Okay, perfect.
Purple Island, mangroves forest.
This is really cool. We don't have mangroves in the US. I'd never heard of them until this trip. But apparently, there are these trees that grow in salt water. So that's adaptive. And apparently this island goes back to 2,000 years BC, so it's one of the oldest parts of Qatar. As we explored the Purple Island, I saw a couple of guys in traditional Arabic dresses, and I went up to them and was asking them all about their fancy camera and lens. Okay, so we're here in the Mangrove Islands, and Walid and Jarrallah just recruited me to help them make a video of the Mangrove Islands for Instagram, and so I asked them to return the favor and be on our video. So if it's okay, Walid, could you explain for all of us like this beautiful dress, traditional dress that you're wearing?
For Arabic dress.
Arabic dress?
Yes, on this Qatari dress. And this is the name is shal.
Shal?
For Arab people. Okay. And you know, in this area in Qatar, South Qatar, it's very nice. The name is Ben Ghanam.
Ben Ghanam.
Yes. Welcome in Qatar.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So what you guys just saw with me and those two guys back there is my absolute favorite part of being a YouTuber. There are all these people that come up to me everywhere I go, and when they see me filming, they want to just show me part of their world, part of their culture, or maybe they ask me to do something for their channel. And it's created this whole little community of YouTube people that I've met that I'm friends with online all around the world. And it's definitely the thing I'm most grateful for about being a YouTuber. Okay, we just finished at the Mangrove Islands, and now we're going to go get some tea.
2 kadak, 2 paratha, 1 samosa. 1 samosa vegetable, 1 chicken.
Paratha.
Paratha.
Yeah. I know paratha.
You like?
I like paratha, yeah.
I order it.
Yeah. So, I just learned that when we eat food in Qatar, we say
Bismillah.
Bismillah before eating. So, Bismillah.
Bismillah.
And speaking of God, our next stop was the first mosque visit of my entire life. Okay, so now we're at this old mosque, and it's like 150 years old. This is the Imam's house.
So the Muezzin come here and call for the prayer, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. It's mean God is greatest. God is greatest. Come for the prayer.
So in the background, you can hear the music playing. It signals one of the 5 times of the day that Muslims pray. I really like that about this country, that 5 times a day, everyone who believes in Islam, individually yet together, comes together when the music comes on, and they pray and they give their devotion and their time and their spirit. I felt completely at home in the mosque. Maybe it's because there was no one there and there wasn't a worship service, but it felt no different than being in a Christian church. And our next stop was an old fort. We're at a fort that's almost 100 years old, and it served many different purposes over the years. And it was built by...
1938.
Yeah, by who?
Sheikh Abu Salah bin Jasim Al Thani.
Yeah, that guy. And it's funny that the 2 things that seem to stand the test of time that I see no matter where I go in the world are churches and forts. And it's ironic because churches open up our hearts, but forts help us have strong borders and keep us safe. So part of this sport has an exhibit about pearl divers, and I didn't know this, but apparently they can hold their breath for up to 15 minutes. They had a rope that they would go down the ocean in, and there would be a guy holding the line because that would be their lifeline. And they would go all the way down to the ocean just to collect pearls for maybe just a minute or 2 before they had to go back up. They could collect maybe 20 pearls if they had a good haul, and they just kept going over and over all day. And also they would get stung by scorpion fish and hallucinate. Not a job for me. So now that we've learned about the pearl fishers, we're going to go see where they used to dive. We have one more stop, and that's an abandoned village where the pearl fishers used to come and dive for pearls. There were all these villages all along the coastline where people would create hubs of commerce as they dived for the pearls. And once the oil economy replaced the pearl economy, all of these villages became abandoned. And this particular village that we're seeing today is one of the few that are still in relatively good condition from way back from yesteryear. So over here is the sea line where they would dive for pearls in the boats that we saw earlier today. And I guess these are the different buildings and homes and things from the village they created. As we walked along the sea line in the sunset among the abandoned ruins, I wondered, what would my life have been like if I were part of a Qatari tribe in the 1800s? And what if, actually, I was? What if we all just take turns being born and dying in different centuries and countries? What if we all get to live as each person, from the elite leaders of today and yesteryear, to village girls never written about, to those raped and murdered by warlords, to creatives that made haute couture and symphonies, to the engineers and architects that built the Panama Canal, to the slaves that built the pyramids? What if each one of us, throughout our countless lives, gets to experience all of the trauma, tragedy, triumph, and tremendousness that is the human experience? Personally, it makes me feel good to think that some version of that might be true, but even if it's not, I do believe that each one of our lives is a microcosm of the greater human drama. After a long day of driving all over the small country of Qatar, I came home and reunited with my family where they had a task for me: to change my first ever diaper. You're not making this easy for me. I need a beginner level.
This is level 18 months.
Scale of 1 to 10. How am I doing?
He really wants you to do the other hand. He's in a hurry.
Trying to get there. That's yet to be decided. Hey, stop it. Hey. Hey, stop that.
You're not done until the zipper's all the way up. He's going to need another hand.
You only said zipper. You didn't say hand. Oh.
Folks, don't try this at home.
I need a 2-week vacation.
And cut.
After the Caden diaper fiasco, we headed over to the mall where we went to a Turkish restaurant. We ordered eggplant, halloumi, some really wonderful rice that was fried in a pineapple, and this huge platter of meat and vegetables. I was super tired from my long day with Farhad, but the air condition of the mall and the food gave me some new energy, and we headed out to explore some nightlife in Doha at a famous spot called Souq Waqif. Hey Devin, where are we?
We are at Souq Waqif. This is the old traditional standing market.
Okay, what are we going to do here?
Walk around and explore.
As we walked around the Souq Waqif, it was hard for me to remember that some people in the U.S. are afraid of Middle Eastern countries because I felt so super safe. Are you rubbing the genie out of the bottle?
This one's broken. There's no genie.
Yes, people around me looked different. I could hear a different language being spoken, and there were different clothes for sale, but it just felt like a normal Saturday night with people.
This is a small section of the spice market here at the Souq Waqif.
And of course, there were many restaurants and cafes with people just sitting out in the night air and enjoying the ambiance. Michelle, this is such a beautiful boat. Do you know anything about it?
Absolutely. This is the first boat that was ever used in Qatar to go pearl diving. Just kidding. I have no idea what this is about. It's pretty.
But the best part of the Souq Waqif was the section dedicated to pets, where we went and played with all sorts of different animals. Courtney, are these birds?
These are birds, and if you go through that door, you're going to see some of the most amazing birds they have.
Oh, that's amazing. No way. He's only like 1 pound. He's yawning.
He's like, I'm in love.
Patrick,
I'm losing my mind right now.
you cannot have him.
What's his name? Coco the parrot. Yeah, no problem. I'm going. As you can imagine, I slept really well after such a long day. And at the beginning of day 3, I found a very special breakfast as I rummaged around the kitchen. And I'm going to have a breakfast of Cinnamon Toast Crunch before I head out. The blast from the past. I used to eat this every day growing up, and I haven't had it in years.
As I finally left the apartment and headed out to see what I saw, I first encountered the Falcon Souq.
Okay guys, behind me, you see some falcons. I'm at the Falcon Souq. This is a highlight of the trip for me. I had decided that I was going to muster up courage and put a falcon on my arm, but after seeing their heads hooded and their long talons, I chickened out. Now I'm right in front of the Falcon Souq Falcon Hospital, which is like the vet for falcons. I did a quick Google search and I saw that falcons in Qatar are like hunting dogs where I'm from. They're like a prized animal that men train for years to go out into the desert and hunt prey, and they take them to the vet every once in a while to get their talons clipped, to get their feathers mended, and just for a general checkup. So I have to admit that going into the falcon trading store and seeing the falcons all tethered up was a little sad. But I noticed that half of them didn't have the covers on their eyes and half of them did. And the ones that weren't covered, they were very vigilant and they were very fighting the chains. And the ones that were hooded, they were calm. And so it made me think, you know what? Sometimes maybe I just need to put a hood on myself so I can just chill out and have some peace. After I survived the harrowing falcon talons in the Souq Waqif, I headed down the Corniche boardwalk. And it was amazing to think that everything I saw had been built in my lifetime. And Corniche is one of the main, the main road in Doha. You can see the city skyline in the background. I just saw a falcon. There's this beautiful mosque behind me. So it's been a really wonderful trip full of inspiration and creativity. I felt like I've been walking 2 feet off the ground the entire time. My body feels light. I'm happy. I'm joyous. I'm free. And it got me to thinking how if we can really do the work of becoming who we truly are and really finding a sense of community and family in our life, we can recreate the world in such a better way than what we found. And that's exactly what the people of Qatar have done right in my lifetime. After the Souq Waqif and walking down the Corniche, I was getting hungry, so I headed back to home base, where I had another delicious treat that I haven't had since I lived in the US. Okay, I just got back from a day of gallivanting around Doha, and much to my delight, I was scrounging around the cabinets to see what I could have for lunch, and I found Velveeta macaroni and cheese. I haven't had this in at least 10 years. It was like the cherished food of my childhood in my teenage years. Caden, can I help you? You didn't get any.
Can Patrick have some?
I'm starving and I can't have any. And after lunch, Caden and I played together a little more.
So, again. Okay. Ride a little horsey, ride him in the town. Ride a little horsey, don't fall down. Happy baby? Again? Okay.
After playing with Caden, I went out to Doha one more time, where I visited yet another mosque and saw the Emir's home. The Emir is an important political figure in Qatar, and camels process several times throughout the day on his grounds. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is so cool. So I'm just walking back to the apartment now, and look, there's a camel processional. They're only about 50 feet away from me now. And after seeing the mosque and the Emir's home, I went back home where Courtney was playing the cutest game ever.
Ready? Oh my gosh! They're so stinky, dude. Oh my goodness!
We headed out to dinner at the Pearl, which is a string of man-made islands around Doha, and the particular part of the Pearl that we went to dinner at was constructed after Italy. And as I wandered around, I saw all these wise Islamic sayings from their holy texts, and I realized that, okay, if you want to say something to people and want to make them think deeply about life and reflect, you have to put whatever it is you have to say in accessible places, just like they did with those quotes on the sides of restaurants. But all that inner reflection was cut short as we left dinner, and my sister was blown away when the baby said her name, Mimi, for the first time. The next day, we headed out to the Villagio. Qatar loves its malls, and the Villagio is crafted after Venice. And there were no real deep life lessons on this day. It was just fun, enjoying being with my family, and, well, creating more of those core memories that will be hopefully in my internal hard drive, but if not, they'll save, and I'll remember when I'm around them again.
We're at the mall, the Villagio Mall.
Oh my God, we're inside, but it looks like we're outside. Lau, what do you think?
I think it's awesome that when you walk in or you stand still, it looks like the clouds are moving and everything. It does look like you're outside.
For those of you who've been watching the channel, y'all know that I have a Paris bakery tour video, and it looks like we're having a part 2 up here at the patisserie. Let's check it out. Although the bakery made our mouths water, we settled for a delicious brunch. And the reason we skipped the bakery is because we headed over to a special shop called Papa Rode's for dessert.
Hey y'all, welcome to Papa Rode's in Doha, Qatar. Come munch on some buns with us.
Are you a bun muncher, Devin?
Bun
Check out those buns.
Yeah, check out those buns.
Okay, so Courtney wanted us to take us to this place. So Courtney, why do you love this place?
They look really close. There's butter in between these buns.
Oh, so is it like a croissant, or what is it like?
Right, there's yours.
Oh, here's mine. I didn't get my own because my breakfast was so big, but okay. Oh my God.
Chewy and gooey and buttery. That taste first?
Almost like a fluffy pancake.
We woke up super early the next morning to head over to the airport so I could get back to Oslo. Okay, the trip's over. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, the day after Valentine's Day, 2024. Devin and Courtney took me to the airport. Any final words of wisdom?
Come back to visit Qatar.
And also, inshallah.
Inshallah.
That's the one thing I learned here, that people can say inshallah, which means God willing. For example, if I don't want to go back to work after lunch, I can say, maybe I'll come back, inshallah. I was super impressed by the architecture of the Doha airport, which is considered to be one of the best airports in the world. This amazing art display in the background is just one of the many, many reasons that Doha is perennially considered one of the top airports in the entire world. In fact, it's constructed to resemble waves, which shows Doha's connection to the sea. And also, apparently, they have a rainforest. This is easily the most pleasant airport escalator ride I've ever taken. And also teepee huts for people to sleep and relax in before the flight. They even have a skywalk through the forest. I have to say that this walk through the airport forest is a perfect ending to an amazing trip. Traveling to my first Muslim country was just one small drop in the bucket of people that are working hard to bring the world together in today's society. I found the shared humanity that goes deeper than any superficial cultural differences and experienced a deeper perspective than the nightly judgmental news cycle. And in the process, I became just a little bit more of who I truly am. I hope this video inspires you to go talk to the other in your life, whether it be a foreign country or the opposite gender or whatever it might be. Because in doing so, we heal the petty rifts that divide us and we become more of a human family. And in that process, we all become just a little more deeply who we truly